Prayer without work is self-deception. Pray hard, work harder, that's worship. So, before I begin, I must obey the Lord's instruction. Reintroducing myself, I stand before you today as the Lord's servant. This is big deal to me. It might not make sense to you now, but later in the future, someday, you'll connect the dots backwards. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. This message does not mean that people who don't get what they prayed for are lazy or not hardworking. No. And it does not mean that if you pray and work hard, God must grant you success immediately. Because there are seasons. Seasons where no matter how hard you work, God is grooming character. Seasons where He is fixing aspects of you, your patience, your humility, your discernment, so that when the blessing comes, you are ready. Sometimes it's not about effort. It's about timing. God schedules blessings at the right time. Too early and the blessing could ruin you. We have seen this. How many Tajirim Tochos did you know or do you know in your life, and how does that usually end, right? So too soon, too early, it could ruin you because you don't have the character to sustain it, right? And then too late, it could discourage your faith. All of a sudden, you are prayerful and you feel like God does not hear you, He does not exist, because he just watches you struggle and does nothing about it. But remember, blessings are never isolated. Your breakthrough is often connected to other people, those you must bless, or those who must be in the right position to help you succeed. So timing is divine. So let's go through examples of divine timing. Joseph, the most popular one. This comes from the book of Genesis 41. Joseph prayed, worked faithfully, and suffered injustice. Yet, he remained in prison until Pharaoh had a dream. Only then was Joseph promoted to second in command. If Joseph had been released earlier, he would have missed his divine assignment. But also David was anointed king as a boy, but he waited years through battles, betrayals, and wilderness seasons before sitting in the throne. God used that waiting to shape his courage, humility, and leadership. But also from the Quran, Surah Yusuf 12:21 says, "And thus we established Joseph in the land so that we might teach him the interpretation of events." Even in delay, God was preparing Joseph for destiny. So prayer plus work equals to partnership with God. So again, we say God works through people. He could work by himself. You know, people would pray and he could just drop a bag of money. But the way he designed the universe to work, he has set principles of how he's going to bless people, how he's going to do things. And one of these includes he will work with us, with humans, to do his work. So partnership with God, again, prayer plus work through us humans, then we are able to achieve what we are working towards or what God wants to achieve. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." But also Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:11 says, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." So God answers prayer by partnering with your effort. He blesses the work of your hands. He teaches through people. He corrects through consequences. So let's go through real life scenarios that perfectly display this. You pray for money but refuse to work. God won't drop cash from heaven. He blesses your hustle. You pray for a good marriage but you don't build character, right? Una kiburi, hauko patient, hauna heshima, and you're praying for a good marriage. That won't happen. So God will orchestrate scenarios, hardships, pressure, challenges that will shape your character first before the good marriage happens. So God answers by shaping you, not by dropping a perfect spouse at your door. You pray for success, but spend all day in church waiting for miracles. That's not faith. That's laziness disguised as spirituality. You pray for protection, but ignore wisdom. Again, discernment. God protects you through warnings, through people, through discernment. He can't just put a magical guard there. In whatever you pray for, there's an aspect of work that you must put in. Blessings and punishments both come through human channels. A stranger may bless you with kindness. A corrupt boss may punish you with injustice. Both are God's instruments to shape your journey. In many African communities, especially among the low-income communities or population, we see this pattern where people spend all day in church praying, singing, volunteering, expecting miracles to make them successful. But let me tell you the truth. Kushinda kanisani ukitegemea miujiza ni kujidanganya. Church is important, God is important, prayer is vital, but God also calls us to work hard. Work is part of worship. Work is obedience. Work is faith in action. We also see this in Proverbs 14:23, where God says, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. But also Surah Al-Mulk, my Muslim brothers and sisters, forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but in faith, tunaendelea. It is He who made the earth manageable for you. So travel through its paths and eat of His provision. So here's my advice. Pray hard because prayer aligns you with God's will. Work harder because work gives God a channel to bless you. Discern wisely because sometimes delay is not denial, it's preparation. Trust His timing because blessings too early can ruin you and blessings too late can discourage you. Prayer is the seed, work is the soil, timing is the rain. Without all three, there is no harvest. So bye, my good people.